Welcome to Life Unfiltered, a Kabayan Podcast where we dive deep into the messy, beautiful, and unfiltered moments of life.
Hi, my name is Val Ingbino, a licensed professional teacher in the Philippines, a volleyball player, a poem writer, but that's on my own. And you guessed it, I'm an OFW, a shadow teacher here in UAE for 7 months already. So our first episode, titled The Unfiltered Beginning, is just an introduction of my podcast series and on how I came up with this title, why I started this journey, and what motivates me to do it. And by the way, I'm proud Bisdak, but in this podcast, I'll be using national and international languages kasi my target listeners are all kabayans out there na willing tumambay sa podcast ko na ito. And since I am an OFW, I have lots of friends na mga Tagalog. And hindi pa nga ako nagsisimula. Nagtatanong na sila when magsisimula yung podcast mo, kailan ka mag-upload, excited na kami makinig, sabihan mo ako pag nag-upload ka na kasi makikinig ako. Like, oh my God, I feel pressure. Yeah, may mga ganun talaga akong kaibigan na nagtatanong na kasi nga, ayun. And isa sa mga rason kaya ako na natagalan sa pag-upload ng first episode na ito, like 5 days ago na ako nag-post ata sa Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, about my podcast na sisimulan. 5 days ago na yun ata. And then, hindi ko pa rin natisimulan yung na-upload yung first episode na to. Kasi isa sa mga rason bakit ako natagalan is that supposedly, this podcast is a video podcast. But since ang awkward ng mukha ko sa video, I make it an audio podcast na lang. Kasi nga, I have no complete materials like a proper camera, an audio or microphone. And at the same time, my background. And, oh my God, ang awkward talaga ng mukha ko. Napaka-cringe tignan at pakinggan ng boses ko. Oh my God. That's my barrier talaga. That's why parang natagalan talaga yung pag-upload ko sa episode na to.
I just want to add details before I dive into the real or the key point of this episode, alright? I just want to say I'm sorry for all the echoes or for all the noise, my background noise. It's because I'm living in an accommodation because I'm an OFW. We live in a villa where all Filipinos or where all my coworkers are here, and at the same time, we're 6 in one room. So, guess it, I'm doing my podcast or I'm recording in a villa where, yeah, many voices you will hear in my background. Is it obvious? And then originally, this podcast, supposedly a video podcast. Yeah, I tried. Sinubukan ko mag-record, mag-video sa sarili ko, but I feel so cringe na makita yung mukha at marinig yung boses ko na nagsasalita. And that's it. I keep on recording. Yeah, marami nga akong na-record na ng mga video, pero hindi talaga ako satisfied. And I feel so cringe talaga sa the way I talk, the way my face moves or make face like that. Hindi ko gusto. So that's it. I changed my mind. Like I say, instead of doing it as a video podcast, why not try it first as an audio podcast? So that's it. I decided to, make it an audio first. Later na lang ako mag-video podcast if I have my materials already, like camera, microphone, real background where I have solemn or I have a peaceful place that I can record. So that's it. By God's grace, I don't know what will happen, but I just want to start it now. It will be no delays already. And I don't believe in delays because everything has a perfect timing. So maybe this time it's a perfect time to record and upload it. So, and I guess that's what it is. So let's start. Yes, let's start this one. So each week, we will strip away the filters and highlight the raw, real, and relatable experience as we all go through from personal growth, relationships, and challenges, to triumphs and transformations. No scripts, no facades, just real talk about life as it happens. So, whether you're seeking inspiration, clarity, or simply a reminder that you are not alone in this journey, you're in the right place. So, let's start with the first key point of this episode. How do I came up with this title, Life Unfiltered, a Kabayan Podcast? I came up with this title, Life Unfiltered, a Kabayan Podcast, through research. I looked for the best title for a podcast where many fellow Filipino can relate, and I have 15 options in my list. Pero
may napupusuan na talaga ako na dalawa. Like, the Life Unfiltered and Life Blueprint. Pero mas matibang na sa akin yung Life Unfiltered kasi nga, gusto ko yung whole truth, nothing but a truth, char, na linyahan. But I was so hesitant to go or to choose it kasi, like, I was so hesitant to make a decision on my own. Kaya, what I did is, I asked my friend, and akala ko nga life blueprint pipiliin niya kasi nga, makaka-relate siya dahil architect, like ganun. So, but to my surprise, my friend chose Life Unfiltered. Reason niya nga, dahil minimalist daw. Kaya, pabiro na reply ko, lakas maka-minimalist nitong goals na to ah. But prior to his reply, I also pondered and asked God through prayer kung ano talaga ang ipapanghalan ko sa podcast ko, and Life Unfiltered keeps on echoing and Blueprint somehow gusto ko rin piliin. Kaya what I did, I got one sheet of paper and wrote it down, then I uttered a prayer, then hid it in my Bible diary. And on that morning, I received a reply from a friend, and that's it. And it's Life Unfiltered. So without second thought, ayun na, talaga, pinili ko kasi yung tawag nito, yun naman talaga ang gusto ko. Hesitant lang akong mag-decide on my own. So what I did is, I prayed, and at the same time, I asked my friend, and yun. So, the answer I got from my friend was a confirmation for what I prayed to God. Nakaka-amaze lang talaga yung mga galaw ni Lord sa buhay ko, sa buhay mo, or sa buhay nating lahat. Like, hindi mo natin ito pansin. Pero, when you keep on pondering on all situations you have been through in your life, you will say, God, you're so amazing. Like, yeah, that's what I realized in my life. Like, it's not really all ups, because in every day, in every seconds, we experience or we encounter challenges, trials, and triumphs. But the thing is how we handle it, with grace or with burden in our hearts. Like, how to say, like, I don't know if every one of us here keeps saying, thank you, Lord, or keep murmuring, why me, Lord? Why I keep suffering? Because I've been in that part as well. But that's not the thing here. Let's not discuss that for now. We will go on that episode, but not now. So, ayun, hindi ko na muna siya i-detalye dahil nakalaan na yan sa mga next episodes by God's grace. And bakit nga ba napusuan ko agad ang Life Unfiltered aside sa maka-minimalist, ika nga ng friend ko? But napusuan ko tong title na to dahil nasa pangalan pa lang, alam mo na kung ano ang gustong ipahayag ng host or ng speaker, di ba? Di mo na kailangang mag-isip pa ng malalim kung ano bang meron sa Life Unfiltered. Kasi sa pangalan pa lang alam mong nakabase talaga siya sa realities and experiences. Yung totoo at walang sugarcoat sa mga pangyayari like life struggles, triumphs, personal stories where my aim listeners can relate and connect. Yan. Iyan naman talagang importante. Kaya sinimulan ko itong podcast na to. I pray for it kasi I want to connect to everybody, to everyone who's like feel the same way as I feel from the moment na nasaktan, bumangon, nasaktan, lumaban, nasaktan, lumaban, bumangon, at lumaban. Basta that's the thing, like, yung katulad ko na makaka-relate talaga kasi nga ika nga, your story might be a journey for somebody or for someone, di ba? Hindi naman kasi lahat dadaan sa the same na scenario or not the same situation, but the thing is, meron din somehow dadaan ng same na sitwasyon natin na kinalalagyan ngayon. So, might be my story will be someone's journey. So, ay, kinakabahan ako. This is my first time to record and at the same time, share my thoughts to everyone who will be listening in this podcast episode. Yeah, before, way back in high school and college, nagbibigay na ako ng mga suggestions to my friends. Like, yeah, I've been doing that since then. Pero, yeah, it's not like this na nagre-record talaga, no? Kasi that time, it was on the spot and at the same time, you're giving suggestions or nuggets of advice to your friends. You're seeking for it, who's thirsty for it, and you feel like, oh my God, I think God is telling me to say it to her, to say it to him, and then, ta-da! Good thing happens to them after that talking or after that sharing of thoughts and wisdom. So, ito naman talaga yung goal ko sa podcast na ito. Like, I will be able to connect to anyone, to everyone, and at the same time, to share my thoughts and
I don't know, but I have a silent heart, but my mind is so full. Like, I keep pondering, I keep asking, or like keep receiving realizations from, and then I get to keep it on my own. And I think maybe I'll do something na mai-share ko to or maibahagi ko to. Hindi man ito mai-apply sa lahat, but at least maybe someone needs it most, or like maybe someone needs it to hear, or need this to hear. And also, hindi ko alam, but by God's help, by God's grace, and if God will lead them to my podcast, and that means that I am helping them through this podcast, and also God is leading them to my podcast. Not maybe it can help them, or not maybe, but because God knows that this person needs help. So hindi ko man sila I'm not saying na God like, I'm not saying in this podcast that it's me, I can help you. But I am saying, or what am I emphasizing in this episode is that it's not me, it's God. I'm just His instrument, I'm just His servant, and I'm just like, gusto ko lang magampanan yung role ko sa mundong ito. That is to spread God's love and be that God's light. To be God's bearer of light, or let my light radiate to others. Let God's light radiate to others through me. Tama ba yun? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, and then I'm willing to accept anything, any suggestion, comments, reactions. Like, kung may pagkakamali man ako sa mga nasabi ko, pardon me, forgive me, because I'm not really that kind of perfect person na makakabigay talaga ng perfect na suggestions and prayers or advice, like ganun. So what I was just saying now is that I allow God to help me. I allow God to work on me, to spread His word, to spread His love, to spread His wisdom through me. Because yun lang naman talaga yung goal ko sa podcast na to. To connect to somebody, to connect to everyone. It might be to everyone who's willing to listen and to ponder with me. So that's it. The authenticity, the real emotions, were real people and real stories only. So I hope this podcast or this episode will gonna help us grow more in love with ourselves, with our neighbors, and above all, grow in love more to God. So what I am saying again is that the world is full of chaos nowadays. Dadagdag pa ba tayo, or let us accept the fact that we are God's instrument, that we can be God's instrument to spread love to everyone. Okay, tama na to. Tama na tong question, or first key point na to. Let's proceed to the second key point, or the second highlight of this episode. Yeah. And also, by the way, let's go back to the first key point. And also, I added kabayan in my title kasi it signifies to my fellow countrymen all over the world, and I wanted to create a podcast where every Filipino can relate. And so that's it. I like Life Unfiltered-A kabayan podcast kasi nga I'm a Filipino, I'm an OFW, so what I aim is for all kabayan out all over the world, all over, yeah. So next, let's go to second key point of this series. Why I started this journey and what motivates me to do it. Though I'm not a good storyteller, but I just want to express my thoughts. Yeah, the thing that I said a while ago, I just want to express my thoughts that's coming from my mind, and like, oh my God, how can I express it? How can I say it? Who will I talk to? Who needs it? Who needs it now? Maybe someone's needed to hear. Need this. Wait, I compose this thought. Maybe there's somebody na kailangan niya talagang marinig ang words na ito, but the thing is, I can't connect to that person because I'm not there physically. Yeah, but the good thing is, kahit wala ako doon physically, but somehow God leads him or her to my podcast, then he will probably listen or hear this thought, or this thought that will lift him or her, and then boost his
boost his confidence, and at the same time build his trust to the Lord and his faith. So yeah. And oh my God. Oh yeah. And also, I started this journey kasi gusto ko ng bago sa routine ko, and gusto ko ng like ma-maximize ang paggamit ko ng social media in a good way where I can spread the good news, like how God is so good to me, how life is been so amazing. Yeah, like just how life goes on. And like life experiences and realizations. So, ganon. And at the same time, I came to that part that I keep on asking, Lord, aside from teaching, ano pa ba yung kaya kong gawin? Ano pa bang skills na meron ako na hindi ko nagamit, na binigay mo sa akin, pero hindi ko inalagaan? Like, it's really an insult to him. Like, hey, I give you this. Why did you not use it? Kasi, yeah, way back in elementary days, I was a representative of I was a representative in our school as Balagtasan participant. Yeah, I was a part of Balagtasan, and also I really like to be a DJ. Way back when I was kid, I was keep on what do we call that one? Yung ginagaya ko yung mga newscaster, yung sa radio, and at the same time, gusto ko yung naghahatid ng balita na hindi ko na nga may tandaan yung mga linyahan dati. Basta, I was dreaming to become a DJ. But since life is so difficult at that moment, I was so focused on how will I finish my study. So, I focused on my study, and at the same time, I focused on what is important, like that. And siguro, isa din sa factor na hindi ko siya na-pursue is that hindi ako motivated to pursue it. I don't know what is lacking by that time, but I know for sure I wasn't motivated to pursue my dream. And yes, and from that, gusto ko rin talaga i-explore yung sarili ko, to discover kung ano pa ang bagay na kaya kong gawin na hindi ko ginawa dahil nga hesitant ako, and at the same time, nakafocus lang ako sa kung anong meron ako. Like, I wasn't comfortable to go out of my comfort zone. Like, I am already here. I'm living in a peaceful life. I'm living in a comfortable life. Like, I have a job that's enough. I can provide to my family, that's enough. I can live on my own. I have my own space, that's enough. So why make it complicated like that? But here comes a time when something is really in you that needs new or needs something more. Like, you can't explain, but you feel it in the very deep of yourself that, hey, it's not you. You can do something. You can do something that is out of your comfort zone, and trust the process. It may be difficult in the beginning, but yeah, it's not permanent. You get used to it, and at the same time, you probably make it by God's grace. So that's it. I feel motivated. Lord, help me. I want to start what I have in my mind. So that's it. And then I feel motivated. I feel inspired. Like, doon na buo yung tagline ko na stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you soon, or we'll see you next time in this episode. So ganun. Like, kasi curious na ako. What's more to life, Lord? Like, what's more in this situation? Ganito lang ba? Like, tatrabaho, magmamahal, masasaktan. The same process again. Nag-heal, nagmahal ulit, nasaktan ulit. And again, the same process. Like, what's new? What is more to life, Lord? Like that. I keep, not keep on asking, but I came on pondering, and at the same time, I got curious, ano pang pwede or ano pang kaya kong gawin aside sa magmahal. So that's it. So, ayun. Kaya ito, nasimulan ko na. So, I want to discover my God-given talent and conquer the fear I have na naging barrier ko din sa lahat ng bagay na gusto kong gawin. Kaya, takot din kasi akong magkamali or mag-fail eh. Yun naman talaga yung common thing why somebody or why everyone fear to take a move or take a risk, kasi nga takot mag-fail or takot na magkamali. Which is, I know na mali siya na mindset eh. Kasi nga, you're supposed to be brave, you're supposed to explore, and you're supposed to discover something in you that is not yet discovered. Like that. Pero kasi nga, comfortable na tayo sa part na to. We stop seeking. we stop on discovering on our we stop discovering sa sarili natin kasi nga naka-depende na tayo sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, which is we feel like we're comfortable, we're okay now here, then why we complicate things, why we complicate our life, let's stay here. So parang nakakulong na tayo sa box na to, sa routine natin. So that's it. And the good thing is, eto na ako ngayon, taking the risk and conquering my fear. So kasi I just realized walang mangyayari sa buhay ko if I keep if mananatili akong takot. Ayaw ko rin namang tumanda na puno ng pagsisisi at puro what if ang napupuna sa isip. Like, what if ginawa ko to? What if I try this? What if? So, ayaw kong dumating sa part na yun na puro na lang ako what if. Kasi, time is really precious if we maximize it. This is what motivates me to do it. To discover myself and live a life with a greater purpose. So, thank you so much for listening on my first episode in Life Unfiltered Podcast. I hope you get something worth it for your time, and I just want to leave you this Bible verse and a question that you may ponder after listening to this episode. Like in Matthew chapter 5 verse 16, in the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. In the end, how do you want to be remembered? Is it someone who had a life? Or is it someone who truly lived according to your and God's design? So if you like this first episode of mine and you found it helpful, please do share it to your friends. And in that way, we're helping each other. So dear May believers, stay curious about life, stay inspired, and we'll see you next time on my next episode. God bless, have a great day. Thank you.